Okay guys, let's go ahead and get started. I've already done my skincare, so I'm gonna go ahead and go in with primer. Today I'm gonna be testing out a new foundation, so I wanna go ahead and use a primer that I'm already used to and that I really love. So I'm gonna go in with the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This is what I'm gonna use on the perimeters of my face. Then I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer for the center of my face. I'm using this primer because the foundation that I'm using today, it's a little bit thinner of a foundation, so I want to go ahead and use something that I know is going to help that foundation kind of adhere to the skin. So that's why I went in with this one. Now I'm going to go in with my e.l.f. primer. I'm also going to go in with my Smashbox Photo Finish Hydrating Under Eye Primer. Alright, I'm going to let all of that just kind of sink into the skin, and while it's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my eyeshadow. For eye primer today, I'm going to use my P. Louise Base Pro Eye Primer in Rumor 2. Okay guys, I went ahead and put the Wet n Wild lip treatment on my lips because my lips are a bit chapped. I did put a mask on last night, but it seems like it didn't really sink into my lips for some reason. I don't know what's going on with my lips. It is not as cold as it has been, and spring is actually flowing in. There's a lot of pollen in the air. I've been feeling like my allergies acting up. So I think that that's probably the case. You know, everything's blowing in, so it's causing my lips to be a little bit more dry. But anyway, I just wanted to let y'all know I put on that lip treatment. So now we're gonna go in with the Violet Voss Matte Vibes Matte Eyeshadow Palette. This is what it looks like. I purchased this at Sephora. When I saw this at Sephora, I knew I had to have it because I have been loving the Violet Voss mini palettes. And this one's not a mini palette, but I wanted to try it because Violet Voss has really been killing it when it comes to their eyeshadows. So I saw this one in store and I had to pick it up, especially that it was all matte. So here is the packaging right here. It's just a cardboard packaging. On the back it also has the shades and the shade names. And it comes with a mirror, and here are the shades here. Just beautiful matte shades. So we're gonna do an all matte eye look today with this. I know you're looking at this and probably thinking they are typical warm shades or some neutral shades that you may have in your collection. And that's probably true, but they're all matte shades. Like I said, Violet Voss's shadows have been superb lately, so I'm really excited to use this one today. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with the application, and I'm gonna be using my new eyeshadow brushes from Sonia G. This is actually the Sky set that she came out with not too long ago. I just recently purchased mine. I do have the Sky set face brushes, so I really wanted to get my hands on the eye brushes, and I went ahead and purchased these. So we're going to use these today. I'm going to go in with the Sonia G Jumbo Blender. We're going to go into this shade Tubular, and we're going to put that all over the eye. And basically what I'm doing is just setting this P. Louise primer with that. This is a nice big jumbo blender brush. As you can see, it's pretty wide, and it really put that shadow on really nicely on the eye, which doesn't surprise me because I love Sonia G brushes. I have an eye set brush already from her, and I knew this one would work just as good. So now we're gonna go into a crease shade. So now I'm gonna use the classic crease brush, and we're gonna go into the shade Mall Rat. It's this shade here, and this is gonna be my crease shade. These are super pigmented so far. And this one's blending very nicely. As you can see, they are a bit powdery, but that's not really affecting the application or the pigmentation. They're going on the eye really beautifully. Okay, I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to go into that shade right there called Chill, and I'm going to go straight into the crease. And I'm actually going to keep this really concentrated in the crease. I'm not going to go above. It's like a beautiful deep mauve shade. I'm going to take the Sonia G Soft Shader Brush, and I'm going to go into Booyah, which is this shade right here. That's super pigmented. That's just going to go right here on the corner. Just packing that on. All right, now what I want to do is take the jumbo blender brush. I'm going to go into this shade called Psych, and I'm going to actually put that shade right here on the inner corner and just kind of pat it in there. Blending it in with that other shade called Booyah. That's a really nice pigmented peach shade. So now what I did is cleaned off the brush, and now I'm just going on the edges and just gently blending those so that it won't look so harsh. So now we're going to go in with foundation. We're going to go in with the Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Fluid Powder Foundation. This has broad spectrum SPF 20. So this is the packaging here. And then I got the shade W054 Natural Tan. I actually swatched a bunch of shades. I felt like when I swatched these that they oxidized just a little bit. So I went ahead and purchased Natural Tan. I'm hoping that it will oxidize just a little bit like it did in store on my skin today, because I want it to match like my neck. So this is actually what the packaging looks like. It's one of those squeezy tubes. The cap twists off, and of course you squeeze it out through here. So before I put the foundation on, I want to read to you what the Bobbi Brown website says about this product. It says, our first ever liquid to powder foundation that self-sets into a comfortable soft matte finish. Formulated with the Power Protein Complex to help skin look smooth and healthy, this lightweight, sweat-resistant formula controls oil and stays color true all day. Plus, it keeps skin protected on the go with environmental blue light and UV filters. Ideal for oily skin types, paraben-free, phthalate-free, sulfite-free, and gluten-free. So the way it says to use it, if you have normal to oily skin, prep with a vitamin-rich face base, which they actually sell that. And then it says for skin that is hydrated, prep with a hydrating water fresh cream, which they also sell that as well. And it says next, apply foundation using foundation brush, a sponge, or your fingers. Today we're going to use a brush and a sponge. I rarely use my fingers to apply foundation. I used to do it back in the day when I was younger. I remember buying like the CoverGirl foundation that was in a glass bottle. It's kind of like a triangle shape. I remember using that, shaking it up, and then applying it with my fingers, which I honestly don't have a problem with that. I just rarely do it. So today I'm going to apply it with a brush and a sponge. I have wet one of my Binky sponges, and then for my brush application, I'm going to go in with the Zoeva Buffer brush. It's just a flat top kabuki brush. So let's go ahead and start with that. Now this is supposed to be a light coverage matte foundation that controls oil and gives you like a matte look pretty much all day long. So after reading all that, I'm really interested to see if this keeps me matte. And if you guys don't know, I am normal on the perimeter of my face and then oily in my T-zone. So I'm really interested to see if this is gonna mattify my T-zone. So I'm looking for that. I do love that it protects against environment, blue light, and UV filters. I really love that about this product. So if this works out, this is probably going to be something that I'm going to continue to wear from spring into summer. Now it does have the SPF 20, but honestly guys, SPF 20 is not good enough for my skin. I think I need a lot more, especially with hyperpigmentation. You need at least a 45 or over broad spectrum for your face, because you want to protect that melasma or that hyperpigmentation from actually increasing. So the SPF 20 is really not something that interested me with this foundation, because I always use a sunblock that's 45 or higher on my skin. This is said to be light coverage, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to have to use some type of concealer to conceal areas on my skin where I have redness, where I have hyperpigmentation. So enough of me babbling about this. I'm sure you guys want to see how it goes on the skin. It is a fluid foundation, so I'm going to go ahead and shake it up a little bit, get it all mixed up. I put a little pea-sized between my fingers, and now I'm going to just pat it on the skin. So on the right side, I'm going to use the Binky sponge, and yes, it is super lightweight just with that little bit that I put on. I am going to try to build this up today. You can still see some of my hyperpigmentation, a little redness, so it didn't cover much. On this side, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the brush. And the brush seemed to just kind of spread everything around evenly. but no coverage at all. So as you can see, it didn't really cover up much. So we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit more. This is super liquidy, y'all. You see that? It's just dripping down my hand. I'm going to just take my sponge and actually dip it in there and see if I can get a little bit more coverage with that. The shade is super light compared to what I thought it was, and I swatched several, so I might have just gone with the wrong shade. But it looks pretty velvety soft on the skin. I mean, it really looks soft. It's just not giving me any coverage. And I'm having to pour quite a bit out so that I could build it up because it's very, very light. I feel like the brush is kind of absorbing some of the product. I like the sponge side a whole lot better. So we're gonna go in with more on both sides of my face, and I'm going to use a sponge because that's what I like better for application. All right, guys, I went in, let's see, 1, 2, 3, about 4 times already with this product, and it's still very light, so it's not buildable. You can't even build it up to like a medium coverage. It is a very light coverage foundation. So because I really can't build it up and I do need a lot more coverage, this is not gonna be the foundation for me. But let me say this, looking at the foundation, it looks so seamless and so soft on the skin. It went on beautifully. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look drying. It looks really, really pretty on the skin. If I had skin where it was flawless and I didn't have any kind of issues with my skin, then I think this would be a foundation that I would love on first application. Now, I can't say whether the foundation is gonna last all day because I'm not doing an all-day wear test. This is just a first impressions video on this foundation, so I can only tell you what I'm seeing now. And what I am seeing now is that the foundation looks absolutely beautiful on the skin. It looks velvety soft. I think it just looks gorgeous. So I would say if you do not have any issues with your skin, then this is gonna be a product that you may wanna try. I would definitely go get a sample and try it because I think on first application and first impressions, this foundation is absolutely beautiful. Now let me mention one more thing. I did put this on and it was very light at first, and now it seems to be darkening up just a little bit. Not much, but maybe a half shade darker. So it's not darkening up too much, but I can tell that it has oxidized just a little bit on my skin, and that's what I expected because like I said, when I swatched it in store, it did oxidize a little bit, and that's what made me try the natural tan. So I'm not disappointed in the product. I am sad that it's not gonna work for me because I would have to actually cover up quite a bit using this foundation. But for y'all that have no issues with your skin and you wanna try something that's lightweight, that looks beautiful on the skin, then I would definitely try this. So I know I'm supposed to give my first impressions at the end of this video, but I really had to go into that right now because I'm gonna have to put on another foundation. So let me go ahead and get another foundation, and then I'll be right back and we'll get started with the other products. Okay guys, I'm gonna go in really quickly with the Ultra Le Tint Ultra Wear All Day Comfort Foundation from Chanel. This one's actually the shade B51. So I'm gonna put that on super quickly on top of this. So to cover up imperfections, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Shape Tape in Tan. I just remembered that I should have used my Tati Blendiful. I love that thing. I just forget sometimes because I'm so used to using like a sponge. So for concealer today, I'm going to go in with my Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Concealer. Alright, so now I want to go in with this new powder that I picked up from Juno and Company. This is called the Juno Blur Makeup Setting Powder. It comes in a pink packaging like this, and this is the packaging itself. This is such beautiful packaging. It has like a frosted base, and then it has the rose gold top. And when you open it up, it's light pink inside here. This is the powder itself. It is a yellow tinted powder. It's not too yellow. It's more of like a brightening light yellow. It does have a sifter in it. So there isn't a cap where you can close it. So it's obviously gonna get very messy. So this is actually what I'm gonna use today to set my face and set my under eyes. I am gonna use my Sonia G Mini Cheek brush to actually set my under eyes. So it set the concealer really nicely. So now what I'm going to do is set my face with this powder. I am going to pour a little bit on the back of the cap because I feel like when I dipped my brush in there, it just picked up way too much product. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there like that. So to set my face, I'm going to go in with the Straight and Wavy by Makeup Forever. And I'm going to just dip my brush into that powder. So far guys, I love the way this set my makeup. It looks so smooth. It's so pretty. And the yellow tint in the powder is so light. It doesn't come off like too yellow. It doesn't come off like with a white cast or anything. It just looks really nice and smooth on the skin. I am gonna read to you a little bit about this product before we move on to the next product. This says that it's infused with the revolutionary skin-loving nutrient avocado extract to help moisturize and maintain a supple and smooth complexion both underneath and on the surface. So it also says no caking, no creasing, and no flashbacks. So basically you could actually use this to take pictures with. I don't think this is really a shade, but it does say brighten on the bottom of the box. So it is a brightening powder. I do feel like it set the under eyes really well. I do think it brightened it up a little bit. I don't know that it brightened them up like significantly, but it did set well. It does look a little bit brighter than what it did before I set it. So we'll see how this goes, but so far so good. Now I'm going to go in with bronzer. So I'm going to show you a bronzer that I've used a couple of times. It's the Cover FX bronzer in Sunkissed Bronze. It's their Monochromatic Duo bronzer. It has a matte and a shimmer inside. This is the outside packaging, and this is the product itself. Here is the shimmer bronzer and here's the matte. And really I haven't been dipping into the shimmer at all. I've actually just been using the matte. Now I will say that I'm on the fence with this bronzer. I'm not sure if I really like it. The first time I put it on, it looked nice. The second time, I felt like it was a bit too warm. So I don't know. I'm gonna try it again today and see if it's something that I want to keep. So yeah, so I'm not really sure about this bronzer, but we're gonna try it again today. I've been using the e.l.f. pointed powder brush to actually use with this bronzer, so I'm gonna use that today. And like today, I like it. This is one that I'm probably gonna keep because today I really like the way it went on, and it could be the fact that I used that Juno powder. Who knows? So for highlighter today, I'm gonna go in with the Aether Beauty Supernova Crushed Diamond Highlighter. This is the packaging that it comes in. I've heard some things about Aether Beauty. I just never tried their product, but this is the actual packaging. It has kind of like a raised top, kind of like a diamond shape. And then the outside of the packaging is cardboard. This is the shade Pure Diamond Dust. And this is actually the highlighter here. These highlighters, when I swatched them in store, were super creamy. Now there's something written in here, but I don't have my glasses on and it's way too small of a font, so I'm not gonna read it to you. So just know that this is more of like a clean product that they sell at Sephora. So it's supposed to be good for your skin. I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia A23 highlighting brush. I'm just going to go into the product. Oh wow. That is super glittery. It's kind of chunky too. It's not like really smoothing. And it's showing a lot of my texture. For the sake of the video, I'm going to go ahead and put it on the other side. but I will tell you right now that it's like a super chunky highlighter, and it's showing a lot of texture on my skin. I'm going to try to go in with a little bit of powder on top of that highlighter because I'm not liking how that highlighter looks. So let me use my powder brush to kind of blend it out. Okay, I think that's going to do it for the highlighter. So now what I want to do is go in with blush, and I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic blush, and this one is in the shade Intense. This is the packaging that it comes in, but this is the actual packaging, and it's your typical Charlotte Tilbury packaging, and this is the blush here. It's more of like a brown toned blush. This is from their new Pillow Talk line. This is the Intense blush. They have another Pillow Talk blush that's a lot lighter, but this one to me had more of the brown neutral tone, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this one today. So the way I'm gonna apply this today is I'm actually gonna mix the shades together, and I'm using the Sonia G Classic Cheek Brush, and I'm going to add that on my cheeks. That's pretty. It is a very beautiful shade, but it is super dark on me. I didn't think that it would be that strong of a color on my cheekbones because I went in really lightly and I tapped off the excess, and still it came off very pigmented. So if you're interested in buying this, make sure that you go in with a very light hand because it's very pigmented. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that alone, and I'll blend it out here in a bit. Next, I'm going to go in with my Chanel Defining Longwear Eyebrow Pencil. I'm going to go off camera, do my brows, and then I'm going to come back because I have 2 more products that I need to show you guys so that we can finish up and I can give you my thoughts on these products. Alright guys, brows are done. I'm going to go back into the Violet Voss Vibes palette. I'm going to use the Sonia G Flat Definer Brush. I'm going to go into Psych, and I'm going to put that on the bottom lash line. Now I'm going to go back into Mall Rat and go over that. So now I'm going to use this eyeliner by Charlotte Tilbury. It's a Pillow Talk eyeliner, and this is also new to their line. This is the packaging right here, and here is the eyeliner. I'm going to go ahead and use this on my waterline. Wow, that is super pretty. I really didn't think that this shade was going to kind of work on my eyes because I have really dark brown eyes. But it looks really pretty and smoky, and it's just the perfect shade. All right, so now what I'm going to do is go ahead and finish off my makeup, and I'm using this new powder by YSL. It's the Touche Eclat 3D All Over Glow. It's called Universal, but this is the beautiful packaging here. Then you have the shade here. It has the YSL logo in it, and then it has a design around that, just really pretty. So with that, I'm going to go in with the Master Face by Sonia G. And I'm just going to swirl my brush in there, tap off the excess. I have tried this powder before. I actually filmed a first impressions using some of these products, not all of them. And I don't know what happened, but the video is like gone. I have no idea what I did. I think I accidentally might have erased it, but I don't know. So I'm using this again for the second time. And I will say that the first time I used it, I fell in love with it. So this is probably not a complete first impressions, but it's close to it. But look at how beautiful and glowy that leaves the skin. I love it. I love this powder. I'm not going to set my face today, but I am going to put the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Ultra Fine Mist. I bought another one of these. I'm using this to just kind of meld everything together. And then I need to do lips. So for lips, I'm going to go with the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Iconic Nude. And then I'm going to go in with the MAC Fleur de Coral lipstick. Alright guys, this is the finished look. I'm going to go ahead and curl my hair, change my shirt, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I'm going to go ahead and give you my first impressions of these products. Let's go ahead and get started with the eyes. So for the Violet Voss Matte Vibes palette, guys, Violet Voss has done it again. These shadows are so beautifully pigmented, creamy, and blendable. I can't get over them. I cannot get over how beautiful this look came out. I love the whole matte eye look. I don't think I do enough of those, so I really need to try and focus on doing more matte looks than I do matte and shimmer looks. I'm always looking to change things up. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing a little bit more matte looks because I really love the way this eye look came out, and I absolutely love this palette. Violet Voss, one of the best eyeshadow brands out there, and they're one of the more affordable brands at Sephora. So I've already explained how I felt about this foundation. I'm not gonna go too much into it because literally I gave you my first impressions during the video. But I will say again that if you have really good skin and you're not looking to hide any imperfections, this is a foundation that I would absolutely try out. Like I said, go get yourself a sample in your shade and test it out for yourself because it does look very beautiful on the skin. Okay, for the Juno & Company Makeup Setting Powder, I absolutely love this powder. I think it set my concealer very smoothly. It looked very nice and soft on the skin. Now, I don't know how long this is gonna last or whether it's gonna last for me all day. I'll let you guys know in the description box below whether this made my under eyes crease or if it did anything to my skin that made it look a lot different than when I first applied it. So I will let you guys know about that, but so far, guys, I'm loving this. It looks good on the skin, blended really nicely with everything. So yeah, so far a good product. For the YSL powder, like I said, I have used this powder once before and now I'm using it for the second time. So I will tell you that I love this powder. I love the finishing touch that it gives to the makeup. I think that everything blends so well together with this powder and it leaves a very soft, beautiful glow to the skin. So yeah, I really like it. Now I will say that the powder is tinted, but that tint does not come off on the skin. So you're not gonna get any color payoff with this powder. You're just gonna get a really beautiful glow. All right, so for the Aether Beauty highlighter, you guys saw I did not like the way this highlighter went onto my skin. I felt like it was very chunky. It shows a lot of texture on the skin, and it's not like a very blendable formula because I felt like when I went in with this brush, it just took a lot for me to kind of blend it out. So this is not for me. It is way too chunky, not something I look for in a highlighter. So I'm definitely gonna take this back. The blush from Charlotte Tilbury is a beautiful blush. I just feel like it's way too dark for my skin tone, but honestly, I really thought that it was gonna go on a little bit lighter than it did. So because it went on way too dark, that I'm gonna end up taking this back. But I will say that it is a beautiful blush. If you're a darker skin tone than I am, I think this is gonna look gorgeous on you. It's just way too heavy for me. So these brushes did not disappoint. They are just what I expected. They're such good brushes to blend eyeshadow, to apply eyeshadow. I absolutely love them. I especially love this jumbo blender. It's the perfect shape for my eye to apply like eyeshadow right here on the inner corner and on the lid. I just think it's beautiful for that. The flat definer was perfect to apply shadow on the bottom lash line. I think it fit like perfectly under there. I think it's gonna be good too to apply shadow as an eyeliner. So yeah, I really love these brushes. They're a beautiful addition to my collection, and as expected, they work just as good as my other Sonia G brushes. So for the Cover FX Sunkissed Bronze Monochromatic Bronzer Duo, I will say that I am going to keep this. I know that I was on the fence about it at the beginning of the video, but I am gonna keep this. I think it went on beautifully today. I don't know why sometimes it looked good and then it didn't, but today it went on really beautifully over that Juno powder. So I'm hoping that the Juno powder really works out for me because I think the Juno powder and this go hand in hand. I think it just kind of makes it blend out a little bit better and a little bit more diffused. So anyway, I'm keeping the bronzer and I'm gonna continue to use it. It went on beautifully, so I'm gonna keep it. So the last thing is the Pillow Talk eyeliner. I cannot believe how much I really love this. I really can't. I think I can use this like on a daily when I'm trying to do like a regular natural eye look and I wanna use this just for a little bit of color on my waterline. I think it's gonna be great for that. I also think it's gonna be great when I wanna do like a really bold eye look like I did today with like dark colors and a bit of a smoky look. I think it looks absolutely beautiful with this eye look. It went so well with it today. And I just love the shade. I don't know what it is. It's not a brown, it's not like a maroon. It's kind of like a plummy brown shade. And I think it went really well with my dark brown eyes. So yeah, so I am definitely gonna keep this and continue to use it. Okay guys, that's it for my first impressions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you again on the next one. Bye.